Alright, so we're going to talk about economics. And this is from the book Bible Truths for School Subjects by Ruth C. Haycock. And it's going to be a rough overview because I have my own notes and passages I want to use, but it will give us a bit of a framework. So we're going to break down attitudes into several parts. So we're just going to do part one of attitudes towards money and possessions. So economics, lots of times people think it's basically like the world of business and commerce and all that, but really economics are in all your like very, very personal day in, day out interactions. It's a huge part of our life. So the point one we're going to talk today about is whatever good things we have are gifts from God. So pretty simple concept. Archie, why don't you read Daniel 4:34 to 37.
And at the end of time, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted my eyes to the heaven, and my understanding returned to me. And I blessed the Most High, and praised and honored him who lives forever. For his dominion is everlasting dominion, and his kingdom is from generation to generation. All inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing. He is according to his will in the army of heaven. And among the inhabitants of the earth, no one can restrain his hand, or say to him, "What have you done?" At the same time, my reason returned to me, and for the glory of of my kingdom, my honor and splendor returned to me. My counselors and nobles restored to me. I was restored to my kingdom, and excellent majesty was added to me. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and extol the honor of the King of heaven, and whose works are truth and his ways justice. And those who walk in the pride he is able to put down.
Okay, so did Nebuchadnezzar walk in pride?
Yep.
He did walk in pride. And then God humbled him by doing what? Do you guys remember?
Made him eat like the beasts of the field.
Yeah, for 7 years. So he thought, oh, look at all this that I've done, right? And he glorified himself. So the whole point of this what we're going to be surrounding is, don't you be taking, if you do anything for your own glory and your own credit, then it's misplaced. So that's the difference. You can have two people doing the same actions, and it can be appropriate or inappropriate based on your intent of why you're doing it. Are you living your life to glorify God, to extol him, or to be extolled? You have something in your hand?
Just listening.
Put that thing away.
Oh, I'm just
Hand it over.
listening.
That'd be very entertaining for everyone to see. You got to do a workout while you're sitting there. Oh my. Okay, here we go, sir. Okay, so in Deuteronomy, I'll just put down our verses here. So you covered Daniel 4, 34, 37. A haughty spirit comes before destruction is basically the point. Don't have pride, because humble yourself in the Lord, in the sight of the Lord, and he will lift you up. Okay. Next one we're going to just talk about is Deuteronomy 8, 17 to 18, and they basically paraphrase is that the wealth you get and even the power you have to get wealth come from God. So people could say, I worked hard and I earned this, but who gave them those abilities? Who gave them those resources? Who gave them those parents or the guidance in their life or the resources from wherever they came so that they could know how to get that? Who brought them all those deals?
God.
Who, right? Okay. 1 Chronicles 29, 11 to 16. It says, riches, honor, strength, building, and even the building materials, they came from God. Okay, so that was David praying before Solomon's ascension to the throne. In Ecclesiastes, so even all their building material, like even if you go watch when they read the temple, it said that those who built that temple, they were moved, empowered by the Spirit of God. That's how their craft was so good, was because the Spirit of God moved through them to have that good craft. Okay, this Ecclesiastes says that wealth and good health and your ability to eat and enjoy life, those are gifts of God. So even just to enjoy anything, that's a gift from God. Solomon talks about in verse 19 that his old age, so when you're given long life, that's a gift from God. It also says in Isaiah 57:1, it says that the righteous perish and no man lay it to heart, and merciful men are taken away, and none consider that the righteous man is taken away from the evil that's to come. So God could give you a long life as a gift, and you could have a good long life, or God could take you from the earth to spare you from evils. And so it's very circumstantial. Okay? What would be good for one man would not be good for another, right? One man's garbage is another man's treasure, right? People value different things, and people are in different circumstances. 1 Timothy 4. Three to 5 says that all kinds of food came to God, and we are to receive them all with thanksgiving. 1 Timothy 6:17. Did I give that one to you, Oswald?
Yeah.
Okay, you can read that one.
Command those who are rich in present world not to be arrogant, nor to put their hope in wealth, which is so uncertain, but put their hope in God, who is richly provided us with everything for our enjoyment.
Right. So don't be arrogant. Don't be high-minded. Don't be haughty. Don't be proud in spirit. Don't take glory for the good things in your life. Okay? Give thanks in those things and be humble and be thankful. And so you guys know like the principle, have you ever heard of karma?
Yeah.
Yes?
What is
I'm cool, so I've heard of it.
Do you know what karma is?
Yeah.
Okay, well karma is,
Back at you, I've heard.
well, there is a verse that sounds like karma, and that I can think of in the Bible. It says, for whatever a man sows, that shall he reap. Okay, so the idea of karma is whatever you put out there, that's what comes back. Okay, and we believe in that, but does that mean that, so if somebody was to have like maybe a financial collapse, or
So if you crashed in someone's car and then you're driving home and
You
someone crashed
deserved
into
it.
you,
well, yeah, okay, so that would, if that all happened in a real short period of time, that would be like,
that's background.
that would be like quick karma, right? But here's the problem is karma is restricted to this life's existence, and the scales are actually gonna go into beyond this realm. So in this life, like Jeremiah, he looked like a pretty unsuccessful prophet. He looked like a pretty miserable existence, the prophet Jeremiah, but yet he was God's guy. And so, and you can think of, like Job, he was restored while still in this world, but that won't always happen. So we do believe you reap what you sow eventually. But when you put it when you squish that down to a proximity that's shorter than God's span, you're going to get a wrong perception. So that's the problem with karma. So karma also is often associated with the idea of reincarnation. Do you know what reincarnation is? Reincarnation is that basically whatever life you're born into, it has to do with the last life you lived here. So if you're having a good life here, it's because you did well in your last life. So can you see how all of those things are very condemning, because you become so anybody that has roughness in their life, any poverty,
There's no last life.
sickness,
What do you think there was in your brain got erased?
well, reincarnation just keeps going in circles, right? So it's not a Christian belief, that's for sure. So, but my point is that
That's definitely.
do you see how it's condemning, because now everything's about your behavior, what you do, it's all on you, right? And it's not on, really there's no room for grace or mercy, because everything's just tit for tat. Okay? You understand? Okay, Okay, there's also in Matthew 7, it talks about, remember when Christ says, which of you, if your child asked for bread, would give him a stone? Or he says, which of you, if your child asked for fish, would give him a serpent? And he says, if you people being evil, know how to give good gifts, then how much more does your heavenly Father know how to give good gifts? So that's just to say that, providing bread and fish for your children when they're hungry, that's a good thing, right? So these are good things that God has given us, provision. It actually says that, it says, he who does not work should not eat. That says it in the Old and New Covenants. And it says that he who does not provide for his family is worse than an infidel. Okay, it's worse. You have disqualified yourself from the faith by not doing your job. Now, does that mean if you were in an accident or you had a chronic illness that took your work away from you, that now you're disqualified from the faith? No. So there are exceptions, right, that prove the rule, but that it's all very circumstantial, right? Okay, so do you guys think that if you value riches, like gold, money, if you value riches, do you think that means that you have covetousness or something like that?
No.
What do you think, Archie?
Yeah.
I'll say no.
Okay. So is it wrong to want money?
No.
No, it's not wrong to want money because they're gifts from God and they're good things. We want to earn monies. We want to provide for our families, and that's a God-given instinct that we should do. But if you overvalue riches, that's where the issue comes in. And I would even say if you undervalue riches. Okay, so for example, because then at that point you're lacking thankfulness, you're lacking stewardship, right? So if everything we have we don't actually own because it all belongs to God, right? Riches, honor, strength, building materials, wealth, health, long life, short life, all food, all things, they all belong to God. And he's entrusted them to us while we're here to steward. So if we take them for granted, that's a bad attitude. That's an error. And if we overvalue them, where they become like an idol in our lives, that's a wrong attitude too. And they're also intrinsically connected to people. So if I go into your house and I devalue your things by not taking care of them, I am devaluing you because the things that you purchased, your property, are an extension of your labor, or extension of you, right? So having a right attitude towards people's property, towards people's resources, their time, their energy. So when somebody jumps up to serve you, that's their energy, right? Valuing all that is very important, and overvaluing it can also be an error. So we have in life many things that we have to think about. Okay, you were just telling me. You said my YouTube channel's like, I don't have a style, you said, because I've got cooking and I've got kids stuff and I've got, what else do I got on there? Random hiking, and I've got economics, and I've got soteriology, the study of salvation, and all these different things going on, my arts and craft. Okay, we have lots of things in life. Okay, and if I take money and possessions and commerce and what's generally understood to be economics, okay, and if I take this, and I have to be able to see everything in life, but I take this and I really focus on it, at this point, let's say this is my business and my savings account, okay, can I see all the other things down there that I'm supposed to see? Can I see them?
No.
No, because I've become blinded. Okay? I've become blinded by focusing too closely on these two things, okay? So that is a little picture about how we are going to perceive economics. We're going to keep it in its place. And yeah, so that's kind of it today. Just a short little intro. And then we will pick up tomorrow, or sorry, it won't be tomorrow, but next time on our next verses. And we might even touch on the Jubilee, the Great Reset. Okay, you can go ahead and shut that off.
Isn't it weird like one side is this and the other side is flipped? Like weird. One
Mm-hmm.
side like this and you flip it around and it flips upside down.
That's weird.